Welcome back to another episode of D-Sweet Nation. I'm Dan Hutchinson. Next to me, as always, is Mr. Raymond Ascencio.
Sir, how you doing?
Good, Ray. How's it going this morning?
Pretty good. Had a little, got a little discussion with a friend of mine, Greg. You know Greg Fenner.
Yeah.
Got a little. When I say heated, it was sports related.
Yeah.
Cincinnati. He's a Cincinnati.
Oh God.
Not a Cincinnati guy. He was just kind of making a case. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not making him look bad, but he was making his case, and I'm not saying he was right or wrong, and I'm not saying I was right or wrong. It's just a matter of opinion. But Greg has known me for a long time. He's known me since I was probably 20 years old. So Greg gives me the freedom to speak freely.
Yeah.
Okay. And I expressed my opinion on what he thought, like the way you could picture me expressing my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other than that, no, things going good, man. Just got bought my granddaughter a new Minnie Mouse bed that she loves.
That's awesome.
Got her me and my ex-wife, we both went in half. Got her a nice little Minnie Mouse chair that she drags all over the place. And
she's a little cutie, by the way.
well, thank you, man. Thank you.
I see all the pictures you post of her, and she's adorable.
Yeah, she's cool, man. You haven't met her yet?
No, I haven't. No.
Well, yeah, they live with me, man. Come meet them sometime.
Okay.
My daughter,
For sure.
as far as my daughter goes, she's 7 months pregnant. She's doing good. Doing everything she's supposed to be doing. She looks good, and no, man, I'm not complaining, man. My business is doing good. I'm here. I love Saturdays.
Yeah.
Got big games on today. So
Big
when
games.
I say anxiety, it's a good anxiety.
Yeah.
Because I'm excited. So
Yeah, speaking of big games, we have number 4 Ohio State versus number 7 Michigan State. Huge game.
I cannot wait to watch that game.
Huge game. Not only in the Big Ten, but for the national playoff picture as well, because Michigan State's been on a tear.
Yep.
They coming off their win in Michigan and then lost to Purdue. It's a big game not only for Sparty, but for Michigan as well, because if Ohio State can take down Michigan State, that puts us in a good position to stay in front of them, and sets up for the big matchup next weekend with Ohio State for all the marbles, man. Like that, the winner of that game is gonna represent the Big Ten in the national championship playoff.
I have to agree with that. Now, I talked about having anxiety this morning. Think about the anxiety the Buckeyes and Spartan faithful are feeling right now, because they want to go to the playoffs. Their objective is the playoffs in the big picture.
Yeah.
And this is an elimination game today as far as playoffs go, because I don't think a 2-loss Ohio State or a 2-loss Sparty team could get in. The odds are heavily skewed that wouldn't happen. I'm not saying I never say never, but that's an elimination game. And I'm going to be honest about one thing. I'm usually, I'm a Michigan man, okay? People could call me a homer and call me all kinds of names that they want. I'm fine with that. But when I watch Michigan play, I feel like those are my kids out there playing. Those are like my kids, because we're old enough now where they're all kids. They're our kids,
They could be our
and
children.
it's, when you got a kid, let's say like your biological kid is playing a sport, 8 or 9 years old, and let's say in your head he ain't no good, or he or she ain't no good, you're not going to say that.
Right.
You're going to make him or her believe that they're the best 8-year-old in the world, and you can do it. Yeah, man, that's how I am with my Michigan players. Now, I will say this though, Dan. I've been saying this for a long time, and I have to stand by it. Okay, I'm not going to make exceptions just because it's Michigan. They do have the same record as Sparty. I think we should be one spot below Sparty right now, as of right now, because they're head-to-head.
Yeah.
Although our loss is more impressive than Michigan State's loss, because our loss was by 4 points to what were they, 8th ranked, 9th ranked at the time, Sparty?
Yeah, I think we were 8 and 9.
No, it was 6 and 9. It was either 6 and 8 or 6 and 9, because we were 6 at the time. But anyways, we lost by 4 points at their place to the more than likely Heisman Trophy winner.
Yep.
And that can all be laid to rest today if Sparty will lose, because I'm keeping hope alive for next week. I know what our history suggests with the Buckeyes in the last 20 years. I understand all that. But to say that we're due is probably a gross understatement.
Understatement.
I mean,
Major
we're due.
Understatement.
I gotta, you and Steve told me 2 years ago to toe the line, and I've been doing that. There's really been no Harbaugh bashing since you and Steve got on my case in Clio.
No,
not a whole lot.
No,
I've told the line. He's here. That was a rare instance where I actually listened to you and my guest and took.
Yeah.
How stubborn I am.
And this year, there really hasn't been much cause to do any Harbaugh bashing this year. I think, and even some of the national media think that he's coached the team differently. It looks like a different team. Paul Feinbaum was on the radio the other day saying, he's always been first to criticize and put down Jim Harbaugh and say bad things about Harbaugh, but he got on the radio and said, he can't do that this year. That Michigan looks like a different team this year. They're more well coached, more disciplined. They just look like a different team. Results speak for themselves, but to this point, hasn't been much concern for Harbaugh bashing. Yeah, we did lose to Sparty. I think that was a disappointing game. They didn't play well in the second half, but they look like a different team. Yes, and I don't think any of the three teams. There's not a 2-loss Big Ten team going to get in the playoffs.
Right?
It just won't. There's too many. Oregon's sitting there.
Yeah.
As long as they can get past Utah this weekend. Of course, you got Cincinnati, Oklahoma. A 2-loss Big Ten team is not getting in the playoff. So this is a do or die. It's like you said, it's an elimination game for Ohio State, Michigan State. The loser of this game is out, pretty much
of the playoff talk.
Playoff talk. Yeah,
I agree.
There's no way a 2-loss Big Ten team can get in. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we have to be Ohio State fans today because if Michigan State were to win, I don't think there's any chance for us.
If Michigan State were to win today, if I'm voting at the end of the year, you got Michigan and Ohio State on your resume as wins.
Yeah,
okay, and not only that, but an Ohio State team at the Horseshoe.
And that speaks volumes.
Yes, a team that's like in the playoffs more often than they're not in the playoffs, and a national title under their belt, or their most recent one, 7 years ago. So Ohio State is the real deal. And obviously they're recruiting, they've got other than Alabama, they always got the best players in the country. But now earlier in the year, at the time, Miami was supposed to be pretty good. They went to Miami and rolled them bad. State did.
Yeah, I think the expectations for Miami were higher than the reality.
I know. Well, hindsight 2020, yeah.
Right.
But at the time that they were presented, it was kind of like our Washington game. At the time, they ranked 20, 21 or whatever.
Yeah.
At the time, that was a big game, and we took care of business when we thought that they were a big team. That's what Sparty has a good resume. If they win today, if Sparty wins today, which I don't think that they will, but if they do, they will win the Big Ten title, and they'll be in the playoff.
Represent the Big Ten,
yeah.
And Michigan State fans are upset because they're ranked one spot lower than us, but they always say in college football, it's better to lose early in the season than late in the season. Yes, they did come off a big win with Michigan, but you can't follow that up with a loss to unranked Purdue.
At the time, they were unranked, yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it's fresh. It's more fresh at the end of the season. So it's okay to lose. We've seen teams get in the playoffs that lose in the beginning of the season, but not late in the season.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, to prove that I'm not, Sparty bashing here, because I'm not bashing them, but think about what I said at this table about 3-4 weeks ago when we did the college playoff thing. The way that I was hoping that it could kind of work out was I had stated that this is when Derek was here. I had stated that it wouldn't be terrible if we split at Sparty and at Penn State. I want to win both of those games on the road because I want to win every game I play in. Whether it's watching my team or if I'm playing it myself. But it's not going to be the end of the world if we split with one of them and just got out of a stadium with a victory on one of those, because I said State still has to go to Columbus, and they're probably going to lose there. I said it's probably going to come down to that game again, which I think it's going to.
Yep. It was all kind of come down to that whole round robin situation where you had Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State all playing each other, and it was going to be all sorted out once it was all said and done.
Penn State just collapsed, man. God, Illinois
they go from number 3. Were they 3 or 4 in the country? I can't remember.
When they played Iowa, they were 4 at the time, and Iowa was 3.
Yeah.
And that's when the quarterback went down. What's his name? Sean Clifford?
Sean Clifford, yeah.
Clifford went down, and then we saw the Illinois 8 overtime game. God, anytime Brandon Peters, of all people, puts a nail in the coffin, you deserve to lose, and you deserve to have your season destroyed. Oh, my God, what a bad loss that was.
Yeah. Penn State they just fell apart at the end of the season. Lost games they should have won. You say 8 overtime game against against Illinois. I mean, you look at that. The average person that doesn't know overtime in college football looks at that 8 overtimes. Man, that was a long game. But from overtime 4 on, it's literally just you get 1 play each. It's just a 2-point conversion. You take a turn running 1 play to get a 2-point conversion, and it's not really an overtime, so to speak. It's more like sudden death.
I'm more old school when it comes to the football overtime sessions. I'm not a big fan of, whether it's NFL or college, I'm not a fan of that shootout hockey overtime shit. Yeah. Now, I like shootouts in hockey. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking bad about hockey, but like the way the NFL used to be when we were growing up, when you went into overtime, the first team that scores wins, and we're going to be here all night till somebody scores.
Yeah, but
I like it that way.
That's the way the rule was changed now, because a lot of teams, if you didn't, the coin toss predominantly decided the win, because all you needed was a field goal, and it was easy for NFL teams to get within field goal range. So now they changed it to each team gets to possess the ball unless the first team scores a touchdown.
I don't like all that shit.
First team gets the ball, they go down and they kick a field goal. The other team gets possession to get to match.
I don't like that. Get a chance to. I'm not a fan of it. Just my opinion.
Well, I mean, I'm in favor of both teams getting an opportunity to possess the ball. I mean, you want it to be fair. Again, and a lot of opposers of that rule at the time were like, okay, if you're in overtime, you don't get the ball, you won't stop us. Play defense.
Yeah.
Don't let us score.
Right?
But with the kicking range of NFL kickers, it was just too easy to get into field goal range and kick a field goal and win the game.
Yeah. I still say first team score wins, man. I don't care about give him a chance. Fuck giving him a chance. Like you just said, stop him.
Yeah. Now I'm not a fan of ties in sports. At all.
Not either. I'm not either.
And we bring this up with the Lions just tied the Steelers last weekend. They played a very, very ugly game, went into overtime. Seems like nobody wanted to win that game. So many turnovers and so many mistakes in that overtime and the end of the game. Nobody wanted to win the game. That fucking kicker for the Lions, man, I swear to God. They tried out kickers this week, so they got a new kicker. But Mason Rudolph was in for Roethlisberger. Goff played like shit. And they played to a tie. But I'm not a fan of it. When you're in sports and you play a game like that, like there's no reason you can't play in overtime until somebody wins, because it's not very likely a team is going to go a full 10-minute overtime and not score.
Yeah.
If you play another 10-minute overtime, it's not that big of a deal. And just add another overtime. The chances are somebody is going to score in 1 or 2 overtimes. You're not going to see 3, 4 overtime games in NFL. You might see one every once in a while, but a lot of people have brought up the point, like, once you get done with that, like, 10-minute overtime and it's still a tie, just put the kickers out there. Put the kickers out there, start them on the 25 or 35 and just back them up and go kick for kick until somebody misses and somebody wins. What do you think about that? No? It doesn't. As far as player safety, you're not putting any of the other players on the field, right? It's just a kicker. He hasn't done much all game. Do a kickoff. Put more emphasis on the specialty players. After that 10-minute overtime, put the kickers out there, let them go kick for kick until somebody misses.
I don't know who said that. It's an original idea, I guess, but that's just somebody trying to be smart. I wouldn't be for it.
I'm not going to tell you.
I want the men. I want my men to decide whether I'm going to win or lose. My men. Kickers and punters are not men.
I mean, you got the good kickers you got to give credit to. The Justin Tuckers of the world.
I've been disappointed by so many kickers.
Yeah. Jason Hansen.
Hansen was a badass. I like Hansen.
Adam Vinatieri.
Yeah. You're talking about like the greatest kickers of all time.
Well, I mean,
now.
I know.
I know.
Now. Justin Tucker, Harrison Butker for Kansas City.
If I'm the commissioner, the games are going to be decided by the men on the field in overtime sessions.
Okay. So what would you...
It's a nice idea with the kicker thing. I'm not like, I ain't totally trashing it, but nah.
Would you rather see like, okay, say that 10-minute overtime is up and still a tie, then you go to the kind of how college football used to be, where each team overtime you get the ball like on the 25, and you score. You got 4 downs basically. You start them at the 25, and you get 4 downs just like regular, and you either get a first down, score a touchdown, or kick a field goal. Then the next team comes on, starts at the 25. And you have to match or exceed.
If my team and your team went into overtime, what is it, 10 minutes you said overtime?
It's a 10-minute overtime.
Okay. Obviously before the overtime, it'd be a coin toss. I won the toss, okay? Obviously I'm taking the ball and you're choosing which way I'm going.
Yep.
Nobody scores. It's going to be played like a regular game. You're going to kick off, first person to score wins. 10 minutes goes by, nobody scores. We're going to do the same shit all over again, but this time we're kicking off to you. The only thing that's going to change is who kicks off to start the next overtime. That's the only thing I'm changing. That's just me because I want the game to be decided by the men on the field.
Yeah. The only thing I think the NFL would say about that is like, the NFL has done everything in their power to eliminate the kickoff anyways, right? They moved it up, so the kickoff's pretty much pointless, right? It's just a routine play, right? There's normally a touchback or out of the back of the end zone. So starting...
Not necessarily all the time. Sometimes the elements are a factor.
Yeah, that's true. But because now they changed the alignment too. So those front guys can't move until the ball is kicked now. So your 2 front lines, right, on your kickoff formation, they can't move until the ball is kicked. So before they could get like a 5-yard head start. Yeah. And as the kicker was running up, they could run up.
I know what you're talking about.
Right. Now they have to start. So the kickoff coverage is built in such a way, structured in such a way now that, even guys that are catching the ball on like the goal line or the 2 or the 5, they're only getting back out to like the 20 or 25 anyways, right? You don't see a lot of big returns anymore. Every once in a while you see some, return a distance, but the kickoffs become pointless. You know what I mean? For player safety because of the, what do they call it? I'm blanking. The wedge formations they used to run on kickoffs, and I forget what that was called. But yeah, starting them on like the 50. If you go into overtime, go through a 10-minute overtime, each start at the 50 or something like that, and
I don't have a problem with anybody's suggestions. I'm sticking with mine though. It'll be the same shit, the same thing. Yeah. Kickoff, first team score wins, right? It's a field goal or a touchdown, it don't matter. You score, you win. Well, we don't get a chance to get the ball. Well, if you didn't stop them, you don't deserve a chance. Argue with your linebackers and safeties who can't cover nobody.
Yeah.
Hey, that's your own damn fault.
Because I think it's only, football and hockey, the only sports that you can end in a tie-in, right? As far as the major sports, well, boxing too, yeah, and combat sports, it can be a draw.
Yeah.
But that's basically because there's no actual, there's a scorecard, but it's opinion based and there's not really a score. So that's, but it's other sports that, points are scored and a score is tallied. Football and hockey are the only ones you can end in a draw.
Boxing, speaking of draws, there's one little thing I would change about boxing. As much as I just said, I'll keep everything the same. And I don't even know if this would work or not, just my suggestion. What I would do in boxing, since it's judged by 3 judges, first of all, the judges should have a boxing background, whether it's amateurs, Golden Gloves, pro, or even in the military boxing. You know, you got to have people in there who understand boxing. I get so sick and tired of they'll have like a local judge from that state, and God, this is going to sound chauvinistic, man. I don't mean it. I don't mean it too. Okay, they got some woman in there judging, like she fucking knows anything about boxing. And they're not just a woman, but they have men in there too with no boxing experience that are judging these fights. Now, what I would do is the judges, like I said, the judges have to have some form of boxing background. And number two, I personally think that I would say like after round six, they should post the judges' scores up to this point on the board. That way, you know if you have to turn it up or you know if you need a knockout or whatever. That could eliminate some draws, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I like that, but I'll take it a step further and say, why not just post the score card right from the get-go? You know what I mean? Maybe it'll put a little bit more accountability on the judges. If they enter a score and it's posted publicly so everybody can see it, you know, maybe they're going to be a little bit more, I don't know, honest, or, you know, it puts some level of accountability on their scorecard. Then the fighters can actually see where they stand, right? They don't have to guess.
That way you know if you got to turn it up, or you know, if you're going into round 12 and you see all three judges have it in favor of the other guy, 108 to 105, you know you need a knockout.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, could eliminate a few. I don't know, man. Just something I always thought of. I hate draws in boxing, too.
I think that's a very good idea. I think I like, you know, scoreboard, combat sports, you know, boxing, MMA. Post a scorecard from right from round one.
Did you watch that Usman and Covington, too?
I did not. No, I didn't.
Oh, man. That was a good fight.
Good fight?
Yeah. Are you a fan of any of them, too?
You know, I don't follow MMA. I don't follow the UFC as closely as I used to. I'm a little out of touch with the UFC. Like, I know some of the big names, but as far as watching fights, like, I don't get out and watch many of the pay-per-views anymore.
Covington does that. He does that MAGA gimmick or whatever. He himself calls it a gimmick. He does that. He wears that hat, that red hat. He drapes that American flag around his fucking back. Okay. The first fight. Did you see the first fight when they fought each other?
No.
Okay. You have to listen to Covington like talk, like at a press conference. You gotta listen to the way this guy does an interview. He says the most disrespectful and dumbass shit that I've ever heard. And I'm not talking about his Trump shit. Just the way he talks to, like he tried to talk to Usman just because he's from Nigeria. You know, like, you know, we're Americans and we're just so much better than you. You know, he's got that attitude. The first fight, when they fought, I can't wait till you look this up later because there's a nice picture, man. He shattered Covington's jaw in the last round. And what did Usman say after the fight? He says something like, yeah, I just assassinated that little American fucker. I agree with him, too. He did assassinate. But Covington don't represent the whole United States of America. He just represents that little Trump train, the red wave, you know, the rallies and all. He represents those kind of fucking people. He don't represent this country. What Usman did to him, the way he broke his jaw and had him crying, didn't want to shake his hand, his mouth couldn't move. I loved it. I loved seeing that little inferior little American punk get his jaw broken in his own country by the Nigerian nightmare. And that was a victory for the world when that happened. And then he talked the same shit going into the second fight. He didn't get his jaw broken this time. And he actually, it was a good fight. The second fight was more competitive. Covington had a little more respect for him going into this fight because if you watch both fights, Covington's style is he doesn't stop throwing punches. I mean, he doesn't throw haymakers the whole time, but he's constantly his arms they're like pistons. His arms don't stop moving. Right. He just throws punches. Probably throws over 1,000 punches. He wasn't doing that.
Trying to wear his opponent down.
Yeah. He wasn't doing that in fight number 2. There's a lot more respect there. And the Nigerian nightmare assassinated him again. I loved it.
Yeah, I get talking trash or talking shit when you're in a fight like that, whether it's boxing or MMA. I get you're going to talk some smack. I mean, it's been known throughout combat sports, since the beginning of time. But what I don't get is the personal attacks, right? I guess, some people like to do it for entertainment, to draw the fight, but when you start personally attacking someone in your shit talk, that's where it crosses the line, right? And most of the time, when people do that, they get their shit knocked in.
Yeah, and I can understand if Covington was doing that, like saying it like on a professional wrestling forum, okay? But like in the MMA world, or even like in a boxing world, why would you present yourself like that? Because doesn't that like take away from some of your like merchandise sales and like other shit? Don't you lose some fan base because of that?
I don't think so. I think if you're a fan like the Conor McGregor, right? Fans of Conor McGregor are going to be fans of Conor McGregor, right? He talks shit. He gets personal. He does all that crazy stuff. If you're a fan of the guy, I think you're going to be a fan of the guy, and people think it's entertaining. You're going to back the guy more and think it's entertaining, or you're going to hate the guy. And that's kind of like, that's acceptable. I mean, you're a lover, you're hated, but you're still talked about, right? You're still relevant, right? Because people that love you and people that hate you, or your name's still in the news because people are hating on you, right? So you got to take both. But I don't get it. There's not a middle ground, right? It's either you love it or you hate the guy for it.
You like you fan of McGregor?
It's still a draw,
or no?
I'm a fan of the way McGregor fights, but I'm not a fan of Conor McGregor, the guy.
I'm surprised Vince McMahon doesn't sue him when he does that walk. That's Vince McMahon's trademark walk.
Is he trademarked it?
Knowing Vince, probably. Probably.
How could you trademark a walk?
Now, when I say knowing Vince, I don't mean that I know him personally, but knowing what I know about it, trust me, Vince McMahon would trademark that walk. I'm going to look that up later.
That's like you would think by now Deion Sanders would have trademarked his high step, right? And how many times have you seen a player do it in a game, right? So every time they do that, they got to write him a check.
My favorite memory of Conor McGregor. I have two favorite memories of Conor McGregor. The first one is when he boxed Mayweather. Okay, because I'm a Mayweather guy.
Yeah.
The money team, TMT. I was in Flushing watching the fight, Mayweather versus McGregor. My buddy Mike, he's Irish. And everybody that was in, he has a big house too. Everybody in that basement was either related to him or they had orange hair. And they were all rooting for McGregor. Me and my buddy Brian were the only ones down in that basement rooting for Mayweather. And so that was fun. That was just a fun night to watch Mayweather in the end do what he did to McGregor when he ran out of gas. Because McGregor learned that boxing and UFC are two different kinds of conditioning. Doesn't mean that one is better than the other. They're just different.
Yeah.
And my favorite memory of McGregor is when Khabib choked him and spit on him. I liked it when he spit on him. Yeah. Now, hold on. I would never say that about anybody getting spat on, because nobody should. That's the ultimate disrespect. Getting spit on or an open hand slap to the face. I would rather you punch me than to slap me. Because you know how you ever been slapped before? Like by a woman or something, maybe back in the day?
I've been slapped.
Yeah, I've been slapped too, once. I got slapped one time. And it's that reaction, that first 2 or 3 seconds after you get slapped. I mean, you don't hit her back, obviously, but it's that reaction where you just got to get out of the room, get out of here. I'm going to go cool off. There ain't nothing like being slapped.
No, I've been spit on too. And it's like, yeah, I agree. It's the ultimate disrespect.
It's the ultimate disrespect. There's only 2 athletes out of all sports that have ever been sports that I wouldn't have a problem with somebody getting spat on. Covington and McGregor. Spit on them fucking guys. Spit on them. Covington came out to the Kurt Angle music. The You Suck music.
Yeah.
He came out to that shit and the crowd chanted You Suck when, like they do Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Oh, what a fucking clown. Covington's probably one of those guys that has one of them big ass American flags on the back of his truck.
Yeah, probably. If you were a boxer or a fighter, would you be a trash talker, or would you be a kind of a strong silent type, like let my fighting do my talking?
Depends on how good I am. If I knew I could win, I'd be a big shit talker. If I knew, like, if there was no doubt in my mind, like inside, not anything that I'm saying, but if I know in my heart and when I go to bed that I can't wait to kill, not literally kill the guy, but I can't wait to knock his teeth out. If I know for 100% that I feel that I'm going to win, I'm going to talk a lot of shit. So if I feel it's going to be a competitive fight, if there's any shit talking going on, that's only because I'm trying to get in your head.
Let's say you're the number one ranked or title holder in boxing or MMA, whichever it is. Are you going to be a shit talker, or are you going to be a quiet, let my fighting speak for myself?
I don't know, man. Like I said, like if I had, let's say, Roy Jones Jr., 1990 boxing skills, if I had those skills, I'd be talking mad shit. Now, if I was, let me see, who could I use for an example here?
Just knowing your personality, I think you would be a trash talker, but you wouldn't be one of those over the line trash talker.
It's, for me, any sport that I've ever played, if I've ever talked shit in anything, it's because I'm responding to something, man. I'm not really the type. I'm not the type that starts off running his mouth first. Yeah, instigator. I'm not that type. Now, if somebody goes there first, I'm always going to say something smart. But you get smart with me, I'm going to get smart back. Okay?
Yeah.
It all depends. I mean, of course, there's going to be an opponent, every now and then, like, okay, let's say 10 years ago, I boxed. Say I was a heavyweight champion of the world. Say I was fighting Evander Holyfield. I probably wouldn't talk shit to him because I grew up watching him, and there's a respect there. So somebody like that, I wouldn't talk shit to. Now, someone like Chris Bird, yeah, every day I'll talk shit to that slobbering. I'd have him slobbering like Ike Ibeabuchi had him slobbering back in, I think it was 98 or 99. And when Klitschko, in the second fight when they fought in Europe, when he had him crying, when he was peeling his dead carcass off the camp, he was crying. I would talk shit to someone like Chris Bird. I never liked Chris Bird as a boxer.
Yeah,
I'm talking about boxing. I don't know him personally, but someone like that I'll talk mad shit to, because I think I don't like how I like the religious messages on his trunks. I like that, but I don't like the fact that you talk shit in the ring while you're wearing that. Man, right. That don't go together.
A little hypocrisy going on.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. I never liked Chris. I hated that fucking grin on his face. Watch when he fought Ike Ibeabuchi, the president, they called him. He ended up going to prison. I don't know if he's still in there or not. Ike ended up going to prison, but he never lost a fight. He was 20-0, 15 knockouts. Never lost, technically. But someone like Chris Bird, yeah. Someone like Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis. I would probably go back and forth with Lennox Lewis, because Lennox, he's not like this now. But when he was a fighter, I could sense that British anti-American sentiment out of him. Even though he didn't say it, you just know when somebody's like this. Someone like him I'd probably engage with.
Okay.
But yeah, it all depends, man. I'd rather you say something to me first. This is easier because like for me to just come out and start, that's just it's almost like bullying. I'm not a bully.
It's all a way to try to get in your opponent's head. That's all it is, right? You're just trying to get them off their mental base,
Now, one thing I wouldn't do, probably the only thing, and I felt like this years ago, not just because of like the way the world is now, but it was like this years ago. One thing I wouldn't do is, like, if I fought somebody from a different country, I'm not gonna like make it appear like, yeah, I'm from America and we're just so much better than you. I ain't like that, man. I'm not, because I believe, and my pastor has helped me out with this. I didn't always used to be this way, but my pastor helped me out with it. I'm a believer that we're all God's children. So I don't think like I'm any better than you are. If you're from, Africa or Sweden, France, just because I'm from America don't make me better than you. So I'm not really going to go there with I take that back. If I fought a Puerto Rican guy, okay, yeah, forget everything I just said. If I fight a Puerto Rican guy, I'd probably go there with him, because I know he's going to go there with me, because they hate us more than we hate them.
Right.
They hate us. So yeah, Puerto Rican guy would be okay. But anybody else, I wouldn't play that nationality card.
Okay. Yeah, I think shit talking, when it's done unprovoked, the more aggressive and the more personal that you talk shit to someone, I think it's a mental thing. It's you're not ultimately confident in your physical skills to beat this person. So you're trying to get into their head, to get them off base, to gain an advantage, right? Anybody that's really confident, if I'm going into a fight with you and I know that for sure that I can beat you, I'm super confident that my physical skills are greater than yours, there's no need for me to talk shit because I'm confident. I know I'm going to beat you. Or at least I believe in my heart that I'm going to beat you. Mm-hmm. Those guys that talk shit to that level, there's some little compartment in their brain that has a doubt that they need to gain a mental advantage over their opponent. Yeah.
To me, a good shit talker, in my opinion, when you're just burying a guy, whether he's engaging or not, when you're just burying a guy, whether you're boxing, MMA, baseball, whatever the sport is, to me, a good shit talker, when the game is over, when the fight's over, shake hands, hug, and then that's it. Be done with it.
Yeah.
Covington didn't. You know what happened after that second Usman fight? After the fight was over, no one's seen this coming. They were in the middle of the cage talking, just talking for a minute. Shook hands, little hug, and the referee was like, "I like that. That's cool, guys. I like that too. I thought that was cool. Good for them. Hopefully that's the end of that." Covington gets as post-fight conference, and then every interview he's done after that, he's back to talking shit again. This motherfucker just beat you twice, broke your jaw last year. He didn't just break your jaw. Because you know how like today's technology, they had the super, super slow motion camera. Yeah, yeah. When they show the super, super slow motion, he's getting hit, and his chin is like, his face is staying here, but his chin is slowly going that way, and it's like not stopping.
It's been adjusted 4 inches to the left.
I'm going to tell you this, man. I've talked a lot of shit in my day, okay? I was able to back it up sometimes I can't, okay? Because, growing up in Flint, there's thousands of great athletes, and some of them are better than you are, I ain't going to, look, if I got into a fist fight with somebody and that motherfucker broke my jaw, probably not going to talk smack to him no more. Would you?
No, I wouldn't. Especially if I was running my mouth. Right? I mean, I got into a fight in the 8th grade with this dude that was bigger than me. And it was over a fucking floor hockey, right? We're playing floor hockey in gym, right? You got sticks.
One of the greatest games ever.
Right? And we're playing hockey like normal, and my stick hit his leg. Right?
Yeah, inadvertently.
Not done on purpose. You got a puck and sticks and bare legs in gym. Like it's bound to happen.
He wanted to be a dickhead about it.
He was a dickhead about it, and he stalked me all week, wanted to fight me because of that incident in gym class.
Oh my God!
So this was in I think it was 8th grade, and
was he older than you? A year older?
No, same grade, but he was bigger.
Okay,
right? He was maybe like a foot taller than me. Kind of a bigger guy, like chunkier, bigger.
Okay.
Stalked me all week, followed me around the hall, bumped into me, the shoulder bumps passing you, confrontation in the hallway.
Is this grade classes. School or junior high? Or
it's junior high, middle school, 8th grade.
Okay.
So finally, all week, this is back when we still had recess, outside at lunchtime. We're at recess, playing sports, football, kickball, whatever it was. Coming back in from, I avoided it. I avoided the confrontation all week, and I was like, man, it was an accident. Chill the fuck out. Like, well, I don't know why you're so up in your shit, because it was floor hockey. It was incidental, right? I mean, he had his boys, and he's trying to show out, and he's trying to be a bully. He's bigger than me. So on this last day, it was all week, we're coming in from recess, and he's behind me. He makes his way behind me. Everybody's like funneling into these double doors to go back in from recess. And he's behind me, and he bumps me, shoves me to the side, and makes me hit my ear against like the metal like door jamb divider.
Yeah.
Right?
Damn.
And it was just like, okay, I've had enough. It's on. Like, you want to do this? Let's do this. Right? And I'm like, I'm not backing down from you anymore. I tried to be civil, tried to explain it to you. So we squared off right there in the bottom of the stairwell in the entrance. And I fucking whooped his ass.
Good.
Right? We got suspended. We come back from being suspended. Now he wants to come up to me and apologize. I'm sorry. Sorry, I picked on you. Sorry, I stalked you. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's right, because I just fucking whooped your ass. Right?
Yeah.
Like, now you want to come up. You can't be civil when I tell you, hey, man, it was an accident. It was floor hockey. Whatever. It took you to getting your ass kicked to eat a piece of humble pie. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is now. Naming nowadays, like all the bullying and stuff. Like, I'm not a proponent of violence, but I tell my kids, like, if you're getting bullied, you ask them to stop, right? Like, you talk to them, use your words at first, hey, it's fucking whatever it is, let's, sorry, whatever I did to offend you, or like, hey, cut it, whatever. But if they don't stop, like, the only way you can get a bully to stop is whoop that ass.
Yeah.
Right? I tell my son, if a dude ever bullies you or starts a fight with you, I said, you don't have to start it, but you better fucking finish it.
Yeah. I like everything you just said there. I'm just going to add to it. I like to think, before we start talking about whooping ass and all that shit, I don't have an undefeated record. I ain't one of those guys that say, "Oh yeah, man, I used to knock everybody out." It wasn't like that. But I have won more. I've won a lot more than I've lost. Okay. Because I've always liked the one-on-one, mano-y-mano, alpha dog kind of stuff. No weaponry, no knives, no pistols, none of that shit. No coming over my house after it's over, none of that. I always liked the one-on-one thing. But anyways, I think that, giving my Pastor Martin another plug again. Well, no, because this has something to do with what we're talking about. Because I've been like, he's been like my guiding light, because my dad used to be the person that I would talk to, So Chris Martin, since I went to junior high school with him. He was a grade ahead of me, but we didn't really start to become close till we were like older. And like a time like now, having him part of my life, man, like I actually understand now that, you can walk away. If somebody's doing this, threatening you, chirping you, let them chirp. Let them chirp. Now, you can't cross that line now, because we all have that. Any real man has an imaginary line, okay? If it looks like your safety is in question, like literally, where you better like think quick, it would take something like that for me to like physically hit somebody. If somebody was saying all kinds of shit right there, I would just talk back. I'm not going to fucking go after them like I would have when I was a little younger.
Yeah.
Most of the time I went after somebody, I handled it, finished it, like you like to say. And there's been a couple times I went at the wrong person. Okay? That has happened.
Yeah.
But no, like 44 years old, negativity. I try to distance myself from negativity, okay? I don't like to be around people that are constantly complaining and that are negative all the time. I really don't. I can't be around that no more. I can still be friends with that person. I can still like the person, but when they're constantly bickering and bitching about something, complaining, or they're constantly just burying somebody where they're only happy when they're complaining, Dan, I cannot be around that because like I've told, I think it was Derek I told too, I don't want any of that negativity to influence me in any way or rub off on me. So I just try to stay away from it. Okay. Yeah. You know what I do on a weekly basis. I'm on the road. Every time you call me, I'm at home and I'm here. That's it.
Yep.
I don't really do anything exciting. But I don't really drink anymore. I'm not at the bars. I will walk away. Not if a guy was in my face, I ain't gonna walk away. But if we're going to our cars, some guy's yelling shit. Fuck. Dan, don't worry about that fucker. Let's just go. Let him talk. Yeah, you better go, you punk. I'll be fine with that too. All right, that's okay.
I'm the same type. Like you said, every man's got a line, and where that line is, I think it reflects your what's the word I'm looking for? Your mental level of toughness, or mental stability, right? Some guys, it's way out here, right? You talk a little shit, you get pissed off, and you react, right? That's where mistakes happen. But some guys, it's like you have to get a little bit closer, a little bit more personal to get a reaction out of me. You can talk all you want. And like you said, there's lines of disrespect, like you spit on me or you slap me or you take a swing at me first,
or even hovering you, like somebody be standing here talking over you, hovering you. I don't like that either.
Right, invading your personal space.
Yes,
or if you get you talk or say something negative about someone I care about, right? And not just like saying, "No, your mama's ugly," but if you verbally or physically offend someone that I care about, then that's a trigger for me.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too. Because I'm always that guy. You know. Oh yeah. You know, I'm that guy, and then I'll start talking so my friend don't have to. I'll put all the heat on me. I'll start jawing and saying dumb type shit. Yeah, I'm like that too. I'm gonna tell you what, man. If there's ever a person that'll have your back, Chris Piliofis. That's a guy. If he's with you in the same vicinity, that motherfucker will have your back in a fight.
Yeah,
in anything. Yes.
Yep, I had some guys like that in the military too, that sometimes a little too quick to react. Like you're in a bar or something and somebody's talking shit to you, and man, we had this one dude. I know this one guy that got knocked the fuck out in a club. We had an argument with this couple that was in the club, and my buddy did something stupid and like hit on some dude's girlfriend or something, and he started getting into our face, and bouncer came over, and this is in Hawaii. This is a big Samoan fucking bouncer.
Whoa.
Came over and was like separating the issue. Well, my buddy thought like the bouncer was attacking this other dude or our other friend, and took a swing at the bouncer.
The Samoan took a swing at the Samoan guy?
Yeah. And this kid was probably, he's not a kid anymore. He's now, I think he retired. He's very high ranking. You're
talking about your army friend. Okay.
Yeah. This is a guy who later became a leader of men in the army, right? And at the time he was just a cherry private.
Right.
Took a swing
like Private Joker on Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah. He was skinny. I think he's got to be about maybe 5'10", 5'9", 5'10", real skinny. Not a lot of meat on this guy. Took a swing at the Samoan bouncer, and he just basically was like, bam. And it was just like a tree falling.
The Samoan fell?
No, my buddy.
Oh, I was going to say.
No, the Samoan dodged it, and then he got hit. He got a brick to the face in the form of a fist, and he fell like a tree. And they literally dragged him out by his feet out to the sidewalk. Out the
Man, now you've been around Samoans more than I have. I don't know if I've really been around a whole lot of Samoans, but I've definitely heard how tough these fucking guys are.
Yeah, you don't fuck around with a Samoan dude. You just don't. I think I said that before.
We talked about that before.
Yeah, even the women. The Samoan culture is just a tough, prideful culture. But yeah, I wouldn't be, if I was an athlete or even playing the sports that I did. I wouldn't be a shit talker. I'm not a shit talker. I'm not a trash talker. I'm just gonna do what I do. I'm the type of athlete that, say if I'm playing football or basketball, whatever, and I tackle you, I'm going to reach down and pull you up, help you up off the field, because it's about sportsmanship and gamesmanship for me. I'm not going to be a shit talker. I'm not going to be one of those guys that's ever going to get a flag for standing over you and taunting you or talking trash about your mom on the field or whatever.
I don't think anybody would disagree with you there. You certainly present yourself like a nice, mature, person.
Yeah.
I can't. It'd be hard to picture you like trash talking somebody.
No, I don't do it. I don't see any need for it. And I'm not a fighter either. I haven't been in that many fights in my life. I'm undefeated, but I don't fight. I don't fight unless you, like I said, like if I'm out with someone, girlfriend or wife or whatever, or my kids, if you disrespect them, then I'm a
beast mode.
Yeah. Yeah. But every other situation, it's like I'm a diffuser, try to stay away from that stuff, but I'm no punk either. I'm not going to get pushed over.
Sure.
But I avoid confrontation unless confrontation is necessary. All right, listen up. 2 words you should know. Benny's Beer Hall. That's right, Benny's Beer Hall is coming soon. Located in downtown Millington, Benny's Beer Hall is the newest spot to grab a cold craft beer, watch the big game, and hang with friends. Benny's Beer Hall will feature 16 beers on tap using the Nordic Tap draft system. TVs throughout the beer hall guarantee you'll be watching the game that you want. And if you're hungry, Benny's will feature some of the area's top food trucks and local carry-out cuisine. Benny's Beer Hall, coming this fall in downtown Millington. We'll see you at Benny's. Prost!
The one thing that I kind of am fearful of, and I hope I never come across this, is getting into a confrontation with like a tough, in shape 28-year-old guy, my size, but tough as nails, and a guy that's like ready to go, like on me. If that were to happen, a lot of people laugh when I say what I'm about to say now. You can laugh too. It's okay. Go ahead and laugh. Someone like that, I'm talking about tough 28-year-old in shape. Not just because he looks like he works out in the gym, he's tough. I'm talking about a guy that works out in the gym, does this, and he's tough. He's got the toughness background to go along with it. I can go for about 40 seconds or 45 seconds, like hard, against someone like that. But after that 40 seconds, if he ain't knocked out, or I don't know what the hell I would do after that. Because I would have I just don't, I can't fight, for 3 or 4 minutes, like hard at a time anymore.
Yeah.
I can't.
The stamina's not there.
The stamina's not, it's just, your body, you go through changes as you get older. You could be in shape as a 45-year-old. That doesn't mean that you're going to have the juice that you had when you were 25. If I went at it with a guy that I just described, I'm still good for about 30, 40, or 40 seconds. I am. Dynamite. After that, I got no shot.
Gassed.
After that, I got no shot. Not just gassed. It's just I don't possess the technical skills to go that long.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can go for 30 or 40 seconds now. Don't let what I just said fool you.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the key. Maybe you got to do the old Ali rope-a-dope and let him wear himself out. And then
I'm not gonna let some young, in shape, tough guy punch me 55 times in less than 30 seconds. That ain't
you don't have to let him punch you. You can get your guard up and let him swing and block and take some in the arms and just don't take any in the face or
I'm more I don't really strategize my fights. I do like to throw the first punch though. I will throw the first punch. In a fight, any fight, whether I'm 10, 20 years old or 50 years old. If I know that I'm getting ready to fight or somebody puts me in that situation, I'm throwing the first punch. We're not doing that head-to-head stuff where we're looking at each other. We're not doing that what you gonna do stuff. But I'm more of a, trying to dig in your eyes kind of a guy.
Yeah.
If I can get you on the ground, I'm something like that, biting, something dirty like that. I would have to. I can't. Come on, man. You can't go with an in shape guy in shape tough guy that's like 25 years younger than you. I know people think that they can. Guys that are 45 and 50, they think that they can go with younger guys. You can't. Youth is king. Okay. If you were 25, if Dan Hutchinson 25 was sitting here right now next to you, 45-year-old Dan, who's going to win in a fight? This guy would. Yeah, you can think, oh no, I'm smarter than that. Don't mean shit. That pride, leave that pride stuff alone. If you have any toughness about you, the young Dan would whoop you. I couldn't whoop a 25-year-old me.
I don't know.
No way in hell.
That's
maybe. Were you a pussy when you were younger? Or what?
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. I mean,
I'm kidding.
Say 25.
Just a little friendly trash talk.
No. 25. I was in the military. I was in the best shape of my life. So yeah, I guess it's pride saying no. Like
shit.
No one younger than me is ever going to whoop me at this age.
I know, but I'm just talking about a Dan Hutchinson. I'm talking about
old yet.
I'm talking about the Dan Hutchinson at 25. I'm not talking about any other 25-year-old kid. I'm talking about you. If it was like possible where we could put a 20 yourself. I'm talking about you. I'm not talking about anybody else.
Yeah, that's probably true because I'm not in the greatest shape now, and not that I'm not strong, but I'm not in the greatest shape. And that 25-year-old Dan was in the best shape of his life. Lean, mean, 210 pounds.
There you go.
Running 6-minute miles. Boxing, lifting weights.
Yeah. See, but when I was 25, I was with Rip all the time on that soapbox derby. We're at the gym doing all this shit. He had me dry heaving out of my mouth, and that was I would have no chance at all.
So I want to propose this to you. What if to make boxing as a sport a little more interesting, a little more draw to the sport, what if there wasn't a limit to the rounds that you fought? That you fought until somebody was down.
You're going to like the prehistoric days because it used to be that way.
Yeah. Like no 12 rounds. You're just going to go until somebody's knocked out or somebody can't continue. Not really a fight to the death kind of thing, but
I know what you're saying. I would have to think that a good Samoan boxer would probably benefit from that because I know in Hawaii and American Samoa, whatever they call it, those Samoan guys, they do this type of training where they condition themselves to fight for like 200 rounds. 200 rounds. So maybe they could benefit from that if it was like a fighting for 10 hours or whatever. They have the condition and the stamina. I don't know, man. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to fight in one of those.
No, I think the only concern I would have is like we already see it. We don't see it too much, but there have been guys that have died, either not in the ring. In the ring, but head trauma. Going 20 rounds, just the amount of head trauma that would cause on someone. And I get the athlete safety part of it, but I don't know. There's got to be something. I think you're on two sides when it comes to boxing. You're a boxing purist where you don't think there's nothing wrong with boxing. Boxing is great how it is. But then I think the other side would be like, well, boxing's kind of losing out to the UFC and MMA, and there needs a little bit more draw to the sport of boxing, whether it's just like we don't have any really good like heavyweights. Seems to be that the heavyweight division is always the biggest draw to boxing.
You don't think we have good heavyweights like right now?
I mean, I think we have
Tyson Fury, Wilder, Anthony Joshua.
Well, not Wilder anymore. I think Wilder was just Wilder's done.
I think that Fury has his number. I still think Wilder could beat the other heavyweights right now. I really think that. I think he'd knock Anthony Joshua out.
Tyson Fury, he's a good boxer, but you talk about Tyson Fury versus some of the heavyweights from our time. I don't think Tyson Fury has a chance against guys like, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, even given the major height advantage. But we had some great heavyweights in our day. And Tyson Fury, I don't know if he's a great heavyweight. I think he's the best of what we have now.
He's a little different because he's 6'9". He's tall. He doesn't have any kind of shape to him.
I know.
Love handles.
That's another thing that irritates me is like I get that you're a big guy and he used to be a lot heavier than what he is. But if you're a professional athlete, a professional boxer, there is no reason that your body should look like that, right? I know. But his what makes him different is that to look like that and to possess the kind of skills that he had, because he's not a brawler. He has like middleweight skills. Yeah.
Skill set, which you don't really see in heavyweights, much less a heavyweight that is that gigantic. You know, he's got good boxing skills. He's got like I would compare his boxing skills like I don't want to compare his skills to nobody. He's just I don't know, man.
Because imagine if Tyson Fury had the body build of like a Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua, right? Like the big muscles cut. Like I think he would be much more dominant if he actually put some muscle on and got in shape. Not to say that he's not in shape physically, because if you can box, 12 rounds, if you can go 12 rounds in a boxing match, you're in physical shape, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like you look at the flab and the lack of muscle tone and like, come on, man, you're a professional boxer. Like
I know.
I mean, even the movie stars get when they play boxers on screen, they get like look at Jake Gyllenhaal in Southpaw. Like these actors can do it for movies. Why can't you do it when you do that year round?
Now talking about Wilder, I still think Fury would have beat him anyway. But Wilder in the second fight and in the third fight, he looked like he put on a little bit of muscle. He was kind of built like I'd say Ben Wallace type of body. And I actually prefer Wilder when he looks skinny in the ring. I like it when he looks skinny with those skinny arms going all over the place.
Yeah.
He just looked too muscular for me against Fury.
He just didn't look the same. He didn't look the same as the first fight. The second and third fight, I don't know. He looked sluggish in the second fight, and he just didn't look good in the third fight.
Yeah, styles make fights, man. Just Fury had his number, and I still think Wilder's still the second best heavyweight. Right now, my opinion, just my opinion. You just
okay.
Some guys have your number.
Are we going to get a Tyson Fury Joshua fight? Would that be the next guy up?
Well, don't forget that Russian guy now, the guy that beat Joshua a few months ago.
Who's that?
I can't remember his name. I didn't know who he was till last summer. He beat the shit out of Anthony Joshua. So you got to throw his name in there too. He's got one of them hockey names. I can't remember his name, but he's like a top four. He's a top four heavyweight. So they're throwing him in the mix now. I don't know. Today's boxing, when two guys are in their prime, like when Wilder was still undefeated, the talk was everybody wanted to see Joshua and Wilder because they were undefeated. We haven't seen that yet. They sure as hell ain't getting no younger. And Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, both, they're like the Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather of today. Like before Pacquiao and Mayweather fought. Remember the way they were presented?
Yeah.
And how everybody wanted to see that? Same thing with Spence and Terrence Crawford. I don't know how old they are. Probably, I think they're like 34 and 36. Nowadays they make us wait and wait and wait and wait. When I was growing up, the Fabulous Four, Hagler, Leonard, Duran, and Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns, Marvin Hagler, and Roberto Duran. They fought each other right now. Oh, you think you're better than me? Okay, we're fighting in 2 months. They fought when they were in early 20s, mid-20s. They didn't make us wait till they were 40 years old. That's how they do it now. Yeah. That's what I don't like about boxing.
Yeah, because the payday is more involved in the contract dispute now. Is more involved in the money. Back then they were like, well, the money it was what it was, and we just want to fight. Now it's like, oh, who gets the biggest?
Yeah,
who gets the biggest purse, and where is this? And oh man, that's what it drives me nuts about some of these, like the Paul brothers getting into boxing. Jake Paul, Logan Paul. Did you hear about? I'm blanking at which one.
Clarissa Shields.
No, Clarissa Shields.
You talking about what Jake Paul said about Clarissa Shields?
No. One of them might fight Mike Tyson. You know that?
I had heard that.
I think it's Logan Paul might fight Mike Tyson.
I hope one of them does fight Mike, because now when the Paul brothers, when they fight in these, are these like exhibition fights?
Yeah.
How many rounds are they scheduled for? 8? 6?
I think they're 8 rounds, but a lot of these fights where the Paul brothers have fought these guys, there's so many stipulations on these fights that it's hard to look at them as like an actual boxing match, because a lot of them, the stipulations like no winner can be declared, or you're not scoring points or whatever. There's all these stipulations where like it doesn't really make it seem, it's just an exhibition just put out there for the money, right? It's not like he's actually in the sport of boxing. He's just boxing guys to get a paycheck and to granted, I have a hard time keeping these two guys straight, Logan Paul and Jake Paul. I can't remember which one just fought. Was it Woodley? It was the one with the beard. Jake Paul, right?
I believe so.
And he did beat him, right?
Jake is the one that talks more than his brother does.
Yeah. He did beat him. I was surprised, right? Because I was like, granted, they both trained and became good at boxing, right? But until they actually box a respectable boxer in the sport and have it be win or lose or draw in a full boxing match, like, I can't take these guys seriously. And they're just getting into ring with guys that are like names. Like Woodley wasn't even a boxer. He's a UFC guy. And we all know how that goes when a UFC guy tries to box. It doesn't work out well.
Hold on, except for one time. Did you ever see, and this was a boxing match, did you ever see Anderson Silva versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.?
No.
Dan.
I didn't even know that happened.
You have to, look, let me say this, man. You're right what you said, but this is the only exception. I agree with everything you just said. I don't think I've ever been more impressed by any athlete. I can't say that, but the way that, dude, if you watch Anderson Silva box, now Chavez Jr., he had a decent record. I mean, you're not going to live up to your father's footsteps because he is who he is, Like, if Michael Jordan had kids, it'd be impossible to
live up to that.
Or Magic Johnson or whatever. Now Anderson Silva, we know as, UFC, one of the greatest of all time. A lot of people think he's the GOAT, whatever. He boxed Chavez Jr. And, Chavez, he has a boxing resume, won some decent fights. Could have been better, but he was a good fighter, good boxer. When you watch Anderson Silva box, Dan, I swear to you, if you didn't know who he was, you wouldn't even suspect that he had a cage fighting background. He looks like he's been boxing his entire life. I have never seen a more masterpiece of a boxing exhibition from somebody who don't have a professional boxing background as Anderson. What an athlete he is, Anderson Silva. I mean, the sweet science of the sport. He didn't go in there brawling. I'm talking about boxing skills, knowing how to, move side to side, knowing how to clinch, getting inside. He has all that.
Yeah.
And he's 47.
I'm going to have to watch that.
You got to watch that. You're going to be impressed.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. But, these guys, they haven't fought anybody.
This goddamn thing, you made these fucking holes too big.
Just pull it out a little bit.
Okay. Go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
They haven't fought anybody real. They're just finding names to get their subs out there. And I think it was Jake Paul recently in an interview said he was the greatest thing in boxing in the last 20 years.
He said who was the greatest?
Himself.
Yeah, just selling tickets. He's just trying to sell tickets.
Like
no one is going to believe that. Okay, he don't believe that himself. He's just trying to sell tickets. Like you said earlier.
I'm the best thing for boxing in the last 20 years.
But to a point that you said earlier. People are going to pay to see you get your ass whooped. So that's smart, marketing, right?
And that's where a majority of people pay to see these fights because they want to see these guys get their ass kicked.
Yeah.
But it hasn't happened yet because they haven't fought anybody. The Mayweather thing, that was such a joke.
Mayweather and McGregor?
No, Mayweather.
Oh, Jake Paul?
Jake Paul. It was such a joke. That was such a staged fight. It was unbelievable.
Mayweather wasn't even in shape. He had a beard. He's got hair now. Dan, let's get
even in out of shape for Mayweather right now. should have been able to easily take care of that kid because he's an inexperienced boxer.
Do you think that they might have had a conversation like before the fight?
Of course. It was totally staged. It was such a staged fight.
Well, I'll tell you this. Let me say one more thing about Anderson Silva. And don't forget that he's 46 or 47. When you watch that boxing exhibition, and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was a decent fighter for his day. He's got the lineage, obviously, but you're going to think to yourself, my God, what if Anderson Silva would have turned pro like when he was 20 or 21, just boxing and just boxed? I mean, I don't know who the GOAT is in the UFC. I mean, I have my personal favorite, but I'm not really qualified to say who the GOAT is. But anybody who thinks that Anderson Silva is, I will never argue with him.
No, you got to. I mean, just off the top of my head, you come up with names like Anderson Silva, George St. Pierre, Matt Hughes, Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture.
You don't like none of the older guys? Hoist Gracie?
I just named two of them.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, back in the day. I mean, yeah, Hoist Gracie for sure.
Who was your favorite? Who was your personal favorite? Like a
Chuck
couple
Liddell.
from say 93, 94, 95. Like back in those early, the first time that we seen it. Like who were a couple of your favorites? I like Hoist. I'm young Ken Shamrock. I like young, not the one that lost his last 35 fights. I like young Ken Shamrock, and I was a big fan of Don Frey and Tank Abbott.
Yeah, I mean, those are the names you know. Like, I wasn't super into it back then. I watched some of the pay-per-view fights, the old school, like, tournament-style fights. And, it's the Hoist Gracie, the Tank Abbotts, the Ken Shamrock. Yeah, I mean, those are the names you know. I don't know if I have a personal favorite back then, but no one really grabbed my attention in the UFC like Chuck Liddell.
The Iceman.
Yep, Iceman Chuck Liddell.
Wasn't that sad to see him the third Tito Ortiz fight? He's all flabby looking. And,
yeah.
Look, he couldn't hardly walk. He was walking up to the stage to get weighed in. He could barely walk. I felt so bad for him because that's not the Chuck Liddell that I know, man.
And speaking of that, that's a very good comparison. And we were talking about talking trash, like Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz. Those are the two examples of the styles of trash talk, right? Like Chuck Liddell wasn't going to talk trash unless you said things to him, right? Tito Ortiz was always running his mouth, right? Whether he won or lost, he was always running his mouth. But yeah, Chuck Liddell. I was kind of a fan of Rich Franklin. You could not be a fan of Randy Couture.
I like Couture.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle once said that because they asked him. This is when he first arrived in the WWE. I think he was on the Howard Stern show. They said, if you fought in the UFC, how would you do? Being an Olympic gold medalist, how would you fare in the UFC if you fought in that today? He said that, I think I could dominate the UFC, but he said, something about Randy Couture. He said, it'd be hard to picture me taking him down. Basically, he was basically saying Randy Couture would probably be the only guy he wouldn't be able to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I walked past Randy Couture in Chicago one time.
Did you?
Yep, on the street.
Oh, shit.
Yep, I was in a crosswalk. He walked right by me, and I was like, I recognized him, and I was like, shit, I wanted to turn around, but I was already crossing the street, and I wanted to cross the street.
I would have turned around.
Yeah, I should have, but there's not many people recognize him. But yeah, my favorite UFC fights of all time, I mean, Chuck Liddell and Nate Diaz. I'm a big Nate Diaz fan, too.
I like the Diaz boys. I've gotten into a few discussions about
now those guys are some shit talkers.
Yeah, those would be
they
guys
usually back it up.
Oh, absolutely. Now I'm fans of them. Now, if they were like listening to this, they would probably appreciate what I'm saying, and they're not going to take it as fuckers talking shit. I'm not. They would understand. Those would be like if I was going to fight one of them guys in 3 months. Those are the kinds of guys I would definitely engage in trash talking. Because I think it's because of my old school Hoist Gracie liking self from back then. Is because I just can't picture anybody in that weight division today. I can't picture them fucking with Hoist Gracie wearing that gi. I'm talking about when he still had all that hair. and was whooping and choking everybody out. What he did to Dan Severn, that did it for me.
It's hard to say anybody. Royce Gracie, man, was just. It's like it's hard to beat the innovator of something in a sport, right? Royce Gracie was the innovator, the master of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in combat sports. It would be hard to say you take prime Royce Gracie and prime Nate Diaz. I think Nate Diaz gets worked, right? Like there was nobody better at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu than Royce Gracie, obviously, right? I just don't think you can take the master on in something he's an expert at.
Another fantasy matchup that we're never going to see.
I mean, you think, Nate Diaz might get him in the striking category because Royce Gracie was never really a striker. Like, he wanted to get you to the ground, right? Once he got you to the ground, it was pretty much over, right? We saw that with Ken Shamrock, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's one of those good fantasy matchups I'd like to see.
I wish that we can see fantasy matchups come to fruition,
or even Anderson Silva and Royce Gracie,
Ooh.
or George St. Pierre and Royce Gracie, right? That would be entertaining.
I'll pay top dollar to watch that. I would.
Yeah.
I'd be a big fan.
Yeah.
Ham. It's good stuff, man.
Yeah. Okay. I want to end this on something serious, and I don't know if you know about this, but it's something that's been in the news the last couple of days, and I just want to get your opinion on it. Have you heard about the Zack Stacey issue or the incident?
Refresh my memory.
Former Eagles running back Zack Stacey.
Is that the one that beat up his wife?
His girlfriend, yeah.
Girlfriend.
Yep. There's a video circulating the internet, and he's been arrested now in Florida. His girlfriend smartly set up cameras in her home and caught him on camera beating the shit out of her in front of their 5-year-old child, punching her, slapping her, throwing her across the room into the TV. I don't know what it was about, but I don't care what it was about. Like, I take a stand on violence against women like that. The dude, if you hit a woman like that, you're a fucking piece of garbage, and you need to put under a building somewhere.
Well, you're a pussy if you do that. You're a pussy.
Yeah.
Wow. I did hear about that, man.
It's fucking despicable.
And look, I'm not just talking about him. I'm talking about anybody that's like him. First of all, when you're a big ass professional athlete, strongman, whatever you are, I think that when you beat up a woman like that, you would never fight a man. I just think because you're a pussy. If you got to do that to a woman, you're a fucking pussy, man. I wish that because we have daughters, right?
Of course.
I'm not an advocate for violence. I encourage every female that's 21 or older get a CPL permit, and to protect yourself from people like that. That doesn't mean get a gun and just shoot people. That's not what I'm saying. I hate hearing those kinds of stories. That hit home to me too, man. I'm kind of glad you brought that up. Women need to start protecting themselves from animals like this, because when a guy that size is doing that to a defenseless woman, what can she do? She can't do anything about it. The only thing she can do is hope that he stops or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's probably scared to leave him, whatever. Women should not have to endure that kind of fear, that kind of pain. Women need to be caring.
I don't care how big you are.
They need to start shooting the shit out of these motherfuckers, man.
You can be the biggest, most muscular bound dude on the planet. You do that, there is nothing manly about you
at all.
You are just a straight up despicable coward, pussy, mental incompetent. I could go on.
Yeah, I know.
I
agree.
You're not a man. A real man does not hit a woman and is not physical with the person that they supposedly love, right? And that happened in this video. This woman, and I'm sorry I don't know her name. I should know her name. she smartly, set up cameras in her house to catch him doing this.
Yeah.
And there was a point in the video where she's, knocked to the floor, and all she can do is cower. She's on the floor, and he starts to walk away and then comes back, and I forget what he grabbed something and was go to shove it in her face, and just standing over her. That makes you feel like a man because you can physically assert your dominance over a helpless woman. In front of your 5-year-old child.
It's terrible, man. When you beat up a woman like that, or if you're a parent that does that to your child, where you're caught on camera kicking them and punching them when they're 4 or 5 years old, or even real old people that can't defend themselves, and you see them getting in them homes they get put in, they have those cameras where they show them beating the fuck out of these old people. If I could have it my way, when stuff like that happens, I don't think these people should go to court. None of that shit. We need to let the people deal. We, the people, should be able to deal with people like this. Like that guy you're talking about now, Stacey, is that his name?
Zack Stacey.
Zack Stacey. He should be in handcuffs with his hands restrained, blindfolded, and sent in a room where there's 20 people waiting for him, like relatives of that lady. That's how you need to. That's how I would deal with people like that. I get sick and tired. Bullying. I mentioned the word bullying earlier. I hate a bully, man. I really do. Much shit as I talk and whatever, I don't bully people, man. If I'm physically superior, I don't bully you, but I would feel more comfortable talking smack to you, a man, than to say someone like Mason or whatever. That I know he can't defend himself physically against me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, he probably could. He's a big kid, but no, man. I hate shit like that, Dan. That bothers me just as much as it bothers you.
And
Trust me.
It's sad in this country that someone can have more, as far as jail sentence or punishment, if you get caught with drugs, or you hit somebody with your car. I don't know, maybe that's a bad example, but if you get busted for drugs or something so insignificant, you're getting punished more than these guys are that are beating women, right? Too often they get off too lightly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
There's if you're that type of person, you shouldn't be in society if you're that type of person. And I'm not saying that people can't get help and they can't get therapy and change their ways, but guys like that, you watch that video and you watch that person, that's not a person that's going to change his ways.
I agree with that. You're right.
A person that does that like that is not going to stop. And put your shoes, and you, like I said, we're both fathers of daughters. Put your shoes in the father of that woman watching that video.
Yeah.
If that was my daughter, that guy wouldn't make it to the police station.
I would be with you. I'd be right there with you.
He'd be buried in the woods somewhere.
Yeah. That's the way it should be. Now, okay, like my daughter, Rella, for example, if she were here, she would tell you, she would back me up on this, that I'm telling the truth. She'll be 21 in April, okay? I've already made plans a long time ago. I told her, when you turn 21, I'm going to pay for your CPL class. I want you to get a CPL. That way you know how to fire a gun, you know how to take care of one, you know how to clean, all that stuff. Because I told her, I said, firing a gun ain't just learning how to fire a gun. They teach you how to store it, how to take care of it, and this and that. Because I want you to have your CPL permit because of what we're talking about right now. Yeah. I don't want that to happen to her, okay? Because that could happen to her when I could be miles away. I said, you're going to protect yourself. You got kids now. You are going to, when I'm not around, you're going to protect yourself. So I encourage any 21-year-old female that can legally purchase a firearm. These women need to have firearms to protect themselves from stuff like that. That's just that can't happen, man.
I'm not against someone carrying a firearm to protect themselves, but I'm gonna add to that and say, women that age, invest in some self-defense or basic martial arts techniques, to help protect yourself. You're not always gonna maybe have time to get to a weapon or have a weapon on you, so at least if you know, it doesn't matter how strong you are, martial arts and self-defense, they teach techniques that don't focus on your strength. You don't need strength.
Yeah. Leverage. You need leverage.
Learn some self-defense techniques. It's no excuse. Women shouldn't have to do that, especially to protect themselves against men that supposedly love them and care about them. But it's just a sad, sad thing to see. And they need to throw this guy away and lock the key. Throw away the key.
And what's sad about that, Dan, is there's hundreds of thousands of people just like him, that we're unaware of, but there's a lot of men that are like that. And
it's just sad to see that it's another like NFL player, and I don't know what it is. It's it's a combination of if you're an abuser, you're an abuser. He was going to be that type of person, whether he was in the NFL or not. But I think being a professional athlete or a former athlete, and the size in which you are, and the cockiness and the attitude that comes with being an athlete, I think just adds fuel to that fire when you have that type of personality. I don't think his size or whatever has any say in whether or not he's going to abuse a woman, because when you're like that, you're like that. But being an athlete and being, in the physical shape that he is only adds to it. And it's just sad to see that it's another athlete that's going to get that does something like this. And I don't know, it's just despicable. And I really apologize because I don't know the woman's name, and we've said his name way too much and haven't said her name once, but and just my thoughts go out to her.
Yep.
And it's just a sad situation. But I wasn't prepared. But if you're a woman that suffers abuse, I'm going to edit in a hotline number, a website, domestic abuse, hotline website. I'll put it down on the bottom of the screen. I don't have an exact name right now, but if you're a woman that is in that situation, just reach out and get some help, and separate yourself from that situation and find a way out. That's all I want to say about that.
Okay, can we end the show on something positive?
Yeah,
because I'm shaking now.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, come up with something positive, man. God damn, I'm shaking now. I'm pissed now.
Yeah,
because think about it, Dan. Like, you and I are big, strong guys. Like, and most of the women we've dated or been with have been a lot smaller than us. And do you know how easy it would be to punch a woman, and for her to hit like the back of her head? You could kill her easily.
Yeah,
that lady's lucky she's not dead because Stacey's a big, strong guy. Okay, let's get off that. That was good what you did with that hotline thing.
Okay, we'll end it on something positive. We'll come back around to Michigan plays Maryland today.
We better take care of business. Oh my God,
we should be able to take care of business.
I don't take games for granted. I don't take games for granted anymore. We got to take the only bad thing. This is how much I looked into that game. The only bad thing about that is the Baltimore Ravens have a road game this weekend, so John Harbaugh won't be on the sidelines with the Michigan gear on. Like when Michigan comes to town,
yeah.
Usually John is on the side. I don't know if he's coaching or what, but he's usually standing next to Jim with a Michigan skull cap and he ain't gonna be there today. Yeah. This sucks.
But yeah, we should handle business. Hopefully we're not. They stay out of the trap game mentality, and they're not looking ahead to Ohio State next week, because there is a lot on the line. And like you said, next week's the big game, and like you said, we're due. And I have faith that they can do it. If there was any year, I think it's this year, just because like the comment we made earlier, they look like a different team. They looked better coached. A lot of games they have been, some of the bigger games they've been a team of two halves, right? Like they'll either start slow, but they'll come on strong in the second half, or like Michigan State, they played very well in the first half, but just. I don't know. They were a completely different team in the second half. But just don't get cocky and take care of business. What I would like to see, I think I told you this earlier in the week when we spoke, I'd like to see him get up big early.
Yeah, send a message.
At halftime, I want to see like a 30-0 at half, something big. Get up in the second half.
Send a message.
Come out in the second half. You're up big, and either able to play J.J. McCarthy a whole half, the whole second half.
Yep.
Right. Get up big in the first half, or
even Donovan Edwards could maybe
start
he
the
could
third quarter.
Yeah.
Come out in the second half, play J.J. McCarthy, give Donovan Edwards some playing time, and let's see really what J.J. McCarthy has. I want to see him get into a game where they can afford to bring in J.J. McCarthy for more than just a player.
Yeah, where there's margin for error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And it allows Cade McNamara some rest.
Sure.
Get up big, sit him in the second half, let J.J. McCarthy play, see what you got in him, which eliminates the wear and allows McNamara to be a little bit fresher for next week.
Okay, so we kind of got your Michigan-Maryland prediction. A blowout. I can see a blowout happening.
Yeah.
I got a Michigan State and Ohio State. I gotta get a prediction there, Dan.
Man, that's a tough one.
This is a playoff elimination game. A lot on the line today.
Ohio State's offense is pretty good, but it's gonna, Kenneth Walker. What's he gonna do? I mean, right now to me, he's a lot of people talking about, what's the dude's name? The Alabama quarterback. Is it Bryce Young? Bryce Young. Being the Heisman favorite, but to me, Kenneth Walker's the clear Heisman favorite right now. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a Michigan State type game, I think. Man, I just don't know. I think it's going to be, something like 37-35 Ohio State.
Be a nail biter, huh?
Yeah. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think as good as Ohio State's offense is, Michigan State has been playing very well. Like I said, I think that Purdue game was a trap game, a hangover game. But I think it's going to be a close one. I don't think Ohio State's going to blow them out. I think it'll be a close game.
Okay. Michigan, Maryland, I pretty much share your sentiments on that, so I don't need to talk about that game. The Spartan and Buckeye game, I believe the Buckeyes are going to win today. I still believe Walker is the best player in the country, and he'll probably win the Heisman. I would vote for him. But today, I think Henderson is going to have a big game for Ohio State, their running back. So this could be like a little coming out party, like, hey, what about me?
He's a freshman, right? He's a true freshman.
I believe so. He's from Virginia, yeah. I believe he's a freshman. Yeah, he's a true freshman. What about me?
Yeah.
I'm going to earn some turf today. Henderson will have a 200-yard rush game today, and Ohio State will win. That's my prediction.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that doesn't mean he's better than Walker. I'm not saying he's better than Walker, but he could outplay Walker today. At home, cold outside, all them crazy nut fans there.
Who does State finish off the year with?
Penn State at home.
Penn State at home.
They got the Nittany Lions at home.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's got 2 more games to show out. I mean, especially if State loses today, he's got this game and the game next week to show the Heisman voters, plus probably a bowl game. They'll get to a decent bowl game.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they don't win today, there's no Big Ten championship. There's no playoff berth to influence the Heisman voters. So
yep. So I say Henderson has 200 yards, and the Bucks win today.
I could see it being a game where both these running backs have good games, and it's gonna be.
This is a heavyweight running back matchup, as you'll see.
Yeah.
It'll be good, man. I'm pumped up for that. I want the Bucks to win. I know, going into next week, I'm gonna be all, keeping hope alive. I understand the 20. I understand all that, man. But
it's hard to be a fan of the Buckeyes or Sparty, but sometimes you gotta. It's for a purpose, right?
It's for a purpose. Yeah. Because if State loses today, then we don't have to hear that about us being ranked above them. Because we have a better record, and I don't know. 200 yards from Henderson and Buckeyes win.
Well, plus, like we said, the fact that if State wins today, we're pretty much, I don't want to say we're done because then we would have to win against Ohio State. I didn't think about that. There's a good shot that say Sparty does win today. If Sparty wins today and we beat Ohio State, do we both get in the playoff?
I really don't know, man. I mean, we have to go by what's going to happen in that Oregon-Utah game today. You know, Oregon plays at a 24-ranked Utah today.
Yeah.
That could be an upset special. I'm going with my heart on that one. I'm rooting for the Utes.
If Oregon wins, then it's likely not, right?
Right. But if they lose.
But if Oregon loses, how do you put a Cincinnati or an Oklahoma ahead of one-loss Michigan?
Okay. Now we're saying if Sparty wins today and if Oregon loses.
If Sparty wins and Oregon loses, right? Because Oregon is number 3, right?
I think so. Yeah.
OSU is 4.
Yeah.
So if they lose, if Oregon and Ohio State lose, that gives them 2 losses.
Yes.
Okay.
All the teams we're talking about have 1 loss right now.
Right. The next best teams outside of Michigan State, Michigan, are Cincinnati and Oklahoma. They're sitting there at number 5 and I think number 8. Because we're 6, 7. Okay. Yeah. So say Michigan wins out. Michigan beats Ohio State, right? It gives Ohio State 3 losses. They're done for sure.
Yeah.
Right? MSU only has 1 loss. Michigan has 1 loss. Michigan's only loss came, like you said, to MSU by 4 points.
Lost to an 8th ranked team and lost by 4 points at their place.
If you're the committee and you're standing there for a 4th spot in the playoff and you're looking at 1 loss Michigan, undefeated Cincinnati, with your only credible win being Notre Dame early in the season, and Oklahoma, who's, I don't know, just not looked that great, had to change quarterbacks in the middle of the season.
Well, they got 2 losses now.
How do you not put Michigan in the college football playoff?
Okay, well, I was going to answer, when you said could Michigan and Michigan State be in the playoff? I think the way that could happen, Oregon would have to lose today. Okay, that'll give them 2 losses. They would be out of the playoff discussion with 2 losses. So if Utah can win today, go Utes. If Michigan State won today, okay, I'm saying if on the Michigan-Ohio State shit. I'm not trying to be that guy, that homer guy. I'm just saying if. Just giving a scenario here. If State were to win today, that gives them victories over Michigan and Ohio State, right? But what if we beat the Buckeyes 42-14 the following week? Okay? I said what if. I said what if.
It's a little bold on the score predictions.
I said what if. Yeah. I said what if here. I'm a what if guy.
Right.
Okay, I won't say 42-14. I'll say, what if we were to win 42-25?
Okay.
Which that's like a big margin, us beating Ohio State.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because that would give Ohio State their 2nd loss, that would eliminate them from the playoff talk. Well, no, actually, they would already have their 2nd loss anyway.
Yeah.
But okay.
That would be a 3rd loss.
So if Sparty wins today, and if we can win in an impressive fashion against the Buckeyes, where we're clearly the better team and we dominate defensively, what have you, how could you not have Sparty the 3rd best team in the country and Michigan the 4th best team in the country? Who would fill those spots? And it ain't Cincinnati.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's Cincinnati. I think the committee has shown that, dropping them in the playoff rankings versus the national rankings.
Yeah.
And like you said, Oklahoma already has 2 losses.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who the next best team out there is.
If Oregon loses,
if Oregon loses.
We need Oregon to lose.
Yeah.
We need, because they got to go to Utah today, and then they got the rivalry week next week against Oregon State. I'm not sure where the Civil War is being played. That's called the Civil War, by the way.
Right.
I don't know where the Civil War is being played at, but if Oregon loses, then if Oregon loses today, Sparty wins today, and we win next week, Michigan State and Michigan are in my estimation, are the third and fourth best teams. State should be 3, and we would be 4. Yeah. That can happen. That's possible. It's not. It ain't over yet.
Yeah, it's not over. Either way, we got to earn it because we got to beat Ohio State.
We got to earn it. We need a little help. But nice. In
either scenario, you need a little help because you either need Sparty to lose, or if Sparty wins, you need Oregon to lose.
Yes.
But we still got to beat Ohio State. We still got to earn at the end of the year and beat Ohio State.
The only, I don't know if I should save this for next week or just say it now about Michigan, Ohio State. I'll save it I'm sure we'll talk Michigan. I'll save that for next week.
Okay. All right. That's going to wrap it up. Like I say all the time, if you like what we do, hit that subscribe button, follow us, turn on notifications so you know when we drop a new video. We appreciate everyone that watches the show. Until next time, Ray.
Yes, and that was a good thing what you did about advertising the women's abuse hotline and all that. That was a good thing you did, so good for you.
I appreciate that. All right, we will see you next time.